Hello, welcome to this CameraRC tutorial on composition aids. CameraRC offers several composition aids that can be used in live view. In this tutorial, we will be covering the creating and using of image masks, onion skins, and grid lines. Looking at the CameraRC interface, along the bottom you will see a tab marked Composition Aids. On this tab are the various composition aid controls provided by the program. First, I'll quickly go over the controls provided. There are checkboxes that can be used to enable or disable the image mask, onion skin, or grid lines. Both the image mask and onion skin require specifying a file, and this can be done either by entering the file name in the box or by clicking on the file selector beside the name. For the onion skin, there's also a capture button to optionally capture an image and set the onion skin file to that image. To the lower right are the various controls for the grid lines. On the left, there are separate transparency controls for the image mask and onion skin and the grid lines. The transparency controls are fully opaque when set to the left and fully transparent when set to the right. Image masks overlay the live view image and can be used to help position subjects in the frame or to show where different size images are bounded. For example, shown here is an 8x10 portrait frame. The gray areas at the top and bottom show the bounds for an 8x10 image, and the box shows where the face would be positioned for the portrait. Image masks can be created in most editing software, for example Photoshop and PaintShop Pro, and are created using transparent PNG files. These transparent images are then drawn on with lines, boxes, and filled areas that help in the layout of the composition. Notice that while I used black lines and gray fill areas, other colors can be used. Image masks should be made proportional to the size of the image that is being captured. In most cases, the image size would be proportion would be 3 to 2, and the mask size would be 640 by 480 pixels, or some multiple of that size. Some Nikon cameras allow shooting in 5:4 or 1:2 proportions, and if those are being used, then the image mask should be proportioned with the longer side being 640 pixels. Now, to demonstrate, I will select an image mask using the selection and select the 8x10 mask. I'm then going to turn on live view and set the mask on. Depending on the transparency setting, the mask may or may not be visible. The mask transparency can then be adjusted from fully transparent to opaque. Next, I'm going to demonstrate the creation and use of onion skins. Onion skins provide a way to overlay a previously captured image on the live view display. Onion skins can be used to position objects during subsequent captures, to ensure proper placement relative to reference image, or to position correctly for later merge of images. The image used for the onion skin must be a JPEG file and should match the proportions of the image being captured to ensure the onion skin matches the live view. While the file used for the onion skin can be selected just like the mask file, it is also possible to capture the onion skin directly from the composition aids file and have that image saved and set for the subsequent usage. I will demonstrate the capture and use of an onion skin now. With Live View turned on, I will check the focus. Then I will use the Capture Onion Skin button. Notice that the capture saves the onion skin file and sets it to the onion skin file name. I can now enable the onion skin file. And just to demonstrate so you can see how the onion skin works, I'm going to replace one of the objects on here with a different object. And now you can see how the onion skin is overlaying that object, and I can vary the transparency. So if I want to position it exactly the same, I can do that. And I'll want to move it outward just a little bit. And we can see there how we can do that. I can also enable the image mask at the same time, and both will be made visible. The transparency can then be controlled by the single transparency control. Finally, I'm going to show how grid lines are used. Grid lines are used to evenly line up objects in the live view to precise positions. With the live view on, I'm going to enable grid lines. Notice I can vary the number of grid lines displayed in both the horizontal and vertical dimension. And I can change that using either the up or down controls, or I can just type in the number that I want. The number of grid lines in each dimension can be set from 1 to 40 lines. CameraRC also allows setting the width of the grid lines between 1 and 5 pixels, and changing the color of the grid lines just by click on the solid color box and change grid lines to whatever color you want to use. And similarly, we can vary the transparency of the grid lines from fully opaque to semi-transparent, or even invisible. As a final note, all composition aids are intended to be used only in full image live view. So if we zoom in, the image mask and the onion skin will not be correct for the zoomed image, and the grid lines will continue to be drawn with the original count. So here I'm going to zoom in a couple, and we can see we're still getting the same number of grid lines as we had. And if I tried to enable the image mask, it would only be correct. It would be 8 by 10, but it would be on the zoomed image, which would be incorrect. So this concludes the tutorial on composition aids. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch, and be sure to check out our other video tutorials.